I would never want to take anyone's freedoms away, but oh my gosh, this woman voted in the election on November 5th. And thank God the majority of the country did not align with her ideology, because you're about to witness the most insane takes on immigration you've ever heard in your life. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to Resist the Mainstream, because it ensures YouTube that you're going to enjoy these videos, or that you do enjoy these videos, and then they'll continually show up in your feed, and then they'll push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
Do you think Donald Trump's literally Hitler? You don't buy into that propaganda?
I think his propaganda, I think it's pretty charged language he uses. So I'll just say that.
Okay, so you don't like his language. You wouldn't say that he's Hitler, but you think he uses charged language.
Well, he's not Hitler yet.
Yet. Okay. He could be.
Yeah, I think it's possible. If he wins. If he doesn't win.
Also, this is before he won, but this is about a month ago. Thank God he did, though.
You think he would gather, millions of people and exterminate them? What do you think?
Well, he did say he was going to go house to house with illegal immigrants, and he was going to go house to house to get them. So he did say that.
Well, ICE does that anyways, right? We deport people all the time.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
You don't believe in deporting illegal immigrants?
The people he's complaining about are legal and they are working here. They're not all criminals. I mean, come on, it's charged language that he uses, that everyone.
Trump has never once talked or advocated for illegal immigrants to be deported back to their original country. That has never been stated one time by Donald Trump or anyone that support. Honestly, no one prominent that supports Trump has ever said that. We've always stated that if you're legal, you stay out. If you're legal, or if you want to become legal, go through the legal process and become legal. That's complete baloney.
Everyone who's coming over the border is criminal, which is not true.
Well, what legal immigrants were deported the first time he was president? I've never heard of that. I mean, there's not really legal grounds to do that. I mean, if they have citizenship, you can't deport citizens.
But he's,
That's a good question, Vince.
It is a good question.
What do you think?
Can you ask it again?
Yeah, so, like what legal immigrants was he deporting during his first term? Because we had 4 years where we saw him as president, and first of all, like, there's no legal grounds to deport a legal immigrant who's a citizen. You can
I agree with that. So why does he keep talking about them?
But he's
going to get rid of.
He doesn't talk about deporting legal immigrants. He talks about deporting illegal immigrants, right?
Well, he's also saying that the Ohio immigrants that are legal are illegal, eating pets and stuff.
Well, they're not particularly legal immigrants. I mean, it's kind of semantic, but they are migrants who were given temporary protective status,
because they
which
needed
is
more
essentially
people to work in that area. So he was doing. Whatever governor is doing good.
That's part of the CNVH program. So they bring in 30,000 people per month. There's also a CBP1 program that brings in another 30,000 people per month. So they kind of bypass the process to come into the country.
Yeah,
like you said, it's kind of semantics.
More workers to do the work that a lot of people don't want to do.
Do you support uplifting and revitalizing American communities for Americans over importing foreign labor? What do you think?
This has always been a country that accepts refugees. My dad was a refugee from World War II, and he came to this country and he loved this country. I don't know what he would think about it now, to be honest. But it was always open to people, the melting pot, kind of thing. And I don't think we hear about that anymore.
Right. Well,
open by structured and legal process.
Right.
I mean, you can't just have people pouring over the southern border.
But he's making blanket statements about everyone who was not born in the United States.
He's not. He says illegal people are here illegally.
Yeah, but
especially priority with those who commit crimes in this country.
Does he even know who's legal and who's not? He's not president right now, but he's just making blanket statements.
But that's when he's president, that's a policy he plans on implementing.
What's the policy he plans on implementing?
Deporting illegal immigrants. I mean,
all right. I hope he doesn't become president personally.
Yeah.
What did you think when Barack Obama deported? Actually, what did you think when Barack Obama deported actually more illegals in his term?
I know that. Yeah. We're not talking about Obama right now.
We're not talking about Obama right now. So you're mad about Trump saying he's going to deport illegal aliens. That he's going to do it. You're calling him. Oh, he's making all these generalizations. He doesn't even know who the legal ones are. Yada, yada, yada. Obama deported more people. He's notoriously known for deporting more people than Trump. I think the president I don't know if he's the president who deported the most amount of illegal aliens, or if he's just like, in modern times, he's the one who deported the most illegal aliens. The point is, he's deported so many people, but you don't want to talk about that. We're not talking about Obama, we're talking about Trump. But you're getting mad at Trump for deporting illegal aliens, or at least claiming to do so, all the while negating the fact that Obama deported much more than Trump did. Interesting, but you don't want to talk about it. Got it.
When it comes down to it, do you see it as more, it's the compassionate position to allow illegal immigrants into the country? Unvetted?
I mean, this is a very complex. Unvetted?
Yeah. At the border, they're unvetted.
How do they vet them? Like,
They
I wish. What do you mean they can't vet them?
They're not vetting them right now. So over the last 3.5 years, you get detained by CBP. Right, Customs and Border Protection.
Yeah.
And then you get brought into the country.
Well, like if you already have family in the country, there's a lot of those. Are they still legal or illegal?
Those if you're coming into the country illegally, crossing our southern border illegally, you're an illegal immigrant.
But I know some of the people coming across the border have family, and so they're going to join them.
Yeah.
What does that matter? What does that matter? If you're not illegal. Oh, I have family. I have extended family in Africa. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not bringing a passport, not bringing in any form of identification, and I'm just gonna waltz right into Africa. Like, that's fine. I'm just gonna waltz right into it. I have family in Mexico too. I have family in Canada. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna cross that border without any identification because, hey, they'll recognize me. It's just my family. It's fine. There are laws that countries have. You can't just come into them if you want to. You can't just willingly. This is ignorance. This is stupidity. This is a person who voted for Kamala Harris. Or didn't vote at all, but she said she wasn't voting for Trump. I'm so glad she had no impact on this election because this is crazy. Who cares if they have family? What does that have to do with anything? Are they legal citizens or not? If they're not, bye. Or come here, or at least come here legally. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
We never hear the nuances
we have like a legal
of
process.
that.
We have like a legal
That's nuance.
process that you go
but
through.
we don't hear about the nuance. It's only like black and white, and I think it's a lot more nuanced than.
Let me ask
the
you a question.
discourse.
So, someone.
I have a question about that, but I was going to ask. I mean, do you think that's the compassionate position, though? Over the last 3.5 years, there's been minimum 10 million illegals that have come into the country unvetted under this administration. Do you think that's a compassionate position? Should we just be opening up the border for people?
Well, we have at various times in the United States history.
No, there's a worst border crisis in American history, and it's not even close.
That's because there's more wars going on in South America. You know,
Even during like
Which
World
wars
War
going
I and
on
II.
in South America?
It was. I mean, you're right. The El Salvadorian War, which Nicaragua. I mean, there's been a history of that wars. Also, there's more opportunity in the United States. There always has been more opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's jobs that some people don't want to take, and they want those jobs. I mean, they always have. It's for decades.
What kind of jobs do they go for? You think like low wage, right?
Yeah, like low wage restaurant. You know, stereotypical ones.
Who do you think that
Construction.
disproportionately affects in the country? Low wage earners. Who does that disproportionately affect, if you were to guess?
Well, how many? Well,
If you were to guess.
sorry, there was something else that popped into my head.
Brown and black communities in the United States get disproportionately affected by illegal immigrants flooding the country, working low-wage work. Drives down wages.
I don't know if that's totally true, and because they're saying there has been documentation about we need more construction, we need more housing, and usually Hispanics, let's just say brown people, will do those construction work
For
Will
low
do that.
wage.
Well, they
What
might
about
get
giving
paid a little
Americans?
more.
What about giving Americans that
Hey,
opportunity
if Americans wanted to do, we wouldn't have to. There wouldn't be anyone coming over. You know, there's always.
What? Not only did you just belittle Hispanics to just doing the construction work, they'll just do it. But if Americans wanted to do it, then they wouldn't even become. You know what? The Mexicans would know that we don't want to work there, and they would just cross the border. They wouldn't even cross the border. They know that we want to work these jobs, so they wouldn't even think to cross the border and get them. That's what you just said. Because we don't want to work those jobs. Mexicans just, I guess I'll do one. I guess I'll give it up for the team. I'll pull one for the team, and then I'll cross that border illegally to work those jobs because I know you won't do it. Because you won't, I'll do it. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's stupid. That's actually stupid. Like, wow. I'm shook right now. Just, wow.
Always been jobs here for non-Americans to come. There's always been jobs.
What about the communities that are struggling right now in the U.S.? We have communities in Chicago that are struggling, obviously. I'm sure you see it on the news. And the community leaders are coming to City Hall meetings saying, you guys are reallocating funds from our community, our struggling community, and giving tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, to illegal immigrants. They're protesting right now.
I don't agree. I don't think that's true. If they're illegal here, then they will get sent back. If they're here because they went through the legal and they have, what do you mean? They're not.
They get housing, health care. Some places they get debit cards. They get food.
They're working.
That's not true.
There are clearly some white Americans that don't want to do that job, that can't do those jobs, that are too old to do those jobs, those jobs are very, very hard. And I think there's a lot of white guys that don't want to do those jobs.
They're getting
So you're just assuming that white people are the only Americans in this country or something? There's white people that won't want to do the job, so let the Mexicans do it. What? Also, shout out to Vince with the funny little thing he just did with his eye, because he just said illegals need to be deported. He's like, hey, shout out to Vince with the resistant mainstream. We love this guy.
Billions of dollars across the United States, billions of dollars per year of taxpayer money. Should we not be prioritizing Americans and uplifting Americans first?
What are you talking about?
All the benefits that they get, health care, they get housing, they get welfare in some states.
No, they're not getting welfare. They're working.
In some states, they're able to get benefits, yeah. And in fact, when we were talking about the CNVH program, they actually get federal grants, so they're getting money as well. So if we were to compare this to like the 1920s...
They're up in five-star hotels in New York City.
Oh, come on, because they're doing
paid for by the
work.
Government. No, they're not doing work. Are they paying for the hotel themselves?
They're just because they need people to do the dirty jobs in New York.
All right, I've had enough of this. Do you hear this woman? Like, is this not considered racism? We need Mexicans to do the construction work that white Americans won't do. We need them to do the dirty, nasty, disgusting, gross, vile, yucky jobs, because we're not going to do them. Not as white people, because that's all she sees apparently. She's not referencing any other form of American. I'm American, born and bred in this country. Oklahomian. I'm an Okie. Nope, not me. Oh man, this is an embarrassing display. And honestly, the video's not even done, but I don't even want to put you guys through it. You don't need to witness that insanity. It's insane. She doesn't know the difference between a legal immigrant and an illegal immigrant. She tries to think you are justified to cross the border if you have a cousin in America, even though you're not a citizen. What are you talking about? What is going on? Where do you just come up with this stuff? And then he brings up all this stuff about how these illegal immigrants are using government funding, or being given government funding, to be able to stay up in these five-star hotels, being taken care of, wined and dined, while being here illegally. And yet, so many Americans are struggling. I don't believe that's happening. I don't believe. Okay, well, as long as you don't believe it, you're insane. You're certified insane. Thank God your vote did not matter. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. Shout out to Vince for being in the video again. And like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. See you in the next one. Peace.